Hey,
Johnny, when did you get started?
Probably like 12 or something.
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah, it happens. 12.
Really?
Yeah.
And then you can get something out of yourself at 12?
Yes.
More than urine?
Yes.
Wow. Oh, you bastard.
I think what you're missing out on, Adam.
Could you imagine? I would have never got involved with organized sports. That would have been it for me. You know, it was weird. I could remember being 13 years old and babysitting.
Yeah.
And going over to the house they used to babysit at and sitting around watching Dukes of Hazzard, Love Boat, Charlie's Angels, especially the Charlie's Angels, and then there was like Love Boat and Fantasy Island. I mean, that it was like I knew there was something wrong. I knew I had to make a move. And I remember tearing the house apart. There's two things I would do when I babysat. I would look for food and porn. Oh. It was like the two missions I would go on. I found that porn could best be found usually underneath the bathroom sink. Huh. I don't know why people put it. I guess they look at it when they're on the toilet and then they just toss it under the sink. Right. And food, there's something called a refrigerator.
And the pantry.
That's the other thing. Yes. Yes, and that's where they kept the cold stuff in the refrigerator and the stuff like in the cans and boxes. That went in the thing called the pantry.
Yeah, and they have packaged food in there, too, like Count Chocula.
Well, this was back when. But the point is I would go on a search for both, and I remember the Playboys I found, and I remember just staring at them, just like burning a hole in them, and just staring, like putting it up against my face. You know, like when an old person reads a contract and they put it right up against their nose? Yes. And I was just staring at it, and I knew I should have been doing something, but I didn't know what to do. And of course, very interesting. I wish I had some sort of guardian angel who could have come down and explained to me that I should have been masturbating.
To earn his wings or something?
Yeah. He earned his hamper. Yeah. So the point is I sat sort of frustrated and miserable for about it was like 3 years.
Oh, but then you'd go eat, wouldn't you?
I would certainly, would make up for it with that. So there was an oral fixation, but no other fixation satiated. All right, Drew. Yeah. You ready to rock and roll?
Yeah. How did you miss me?
When were you gone?
Yeah. Thanks.
Okay. Drew's back. He was gone Sunday, Monday. Dr. Bruce filled in for Dr. Drew. He did a good job.
I hear you abused him, though.
The boy, he needs a lot of guidance. Yeah. He's like a young puppy. He needs to be hit with a rolled-up newspaper, told when to go.
Swatted him a few times.
Yanked on the chain. Yeah, but he responded well.
Oh, good.
And he did his business on the paper, and he didn't chew up any furniture.
Great.
So he was fine, but of course we all miss Drew. And I speak for the listeners, not for myself.
Right. We needed a break.
Right, yeah, we're getting a little hostile toward each other. And don't worry, we'll be back.
Oh, yeah.
Phone number for Loveline, 1-800-LOVE-191, fax number 310-854-4455. The Phunk Junkeez are going to be in here in about 10 minutes, and until then, we'll go back to the phones, except for...
Ooh.
Did we forget anything? What about that jeans thing?
What about that?
Do you want to talk about that?
Sure.
Drew and I... got a call from our manager, and we have the same manager, and he said that Structure, which is a
clothing store,
it's a chain of clothing stores, right? It's at all the malls,
like the Limited, that sort of thing.
I never get past Miller's Outpost if I go and buy stuff. Yeah, and even then, I buy clothing like out of a guy who drives a van out in the parking lot.
I never knew you bought clothing.
Well, when I have to. And I rarely try things on or anything like that. But the point is I have seen these Structures, and they're nice. I don't even go in because they're too nice. Yeah. But they approached us, and they want us to do what? Do you know what it is?
To promote their new jeans or something.
Right.
That's as far as I know.
How surreal is that?
That's bizarre, yeah.
You're promoting jeans.
But then I thought about it. It kind of makes sense because we were very different in sort of our styles and presentations.
Well, like asses are different, too.
I want to show how different people could wear the same thing. It makes some sense to me.
All right. So,
but it's bizarre that they would ask us. I mean, we didn't know what to do with it even.
Well, what I'm saying is there's, I've dreamt of being some sort of celebrity my whole life, although I never thought I would be. And for the most part, doing a TV show and doing a radio show, you don't really notice anything because you got producer Ann who's sleeping in the next room. You got engineer Mike who's now actually, he's the artist formerly known as Engineer Mike. He's now Dooley. Dooley, who's looking up internet porn, and then you go do the TV show, and you just get abused by producers, and, you learn, okay, you get free M&Ms.
Right.
But you don't notice that you have any kind of celebrity.
That's right.
But then it's really surreal when someone wants you to be the, spokesperson for their jeans.
Right, that's weird.
That's when it becomes weird. That and the Hollywood Squares gig.
That's weirder.
That is surreal.
Did we talk about that?
Drew and I are supposed to do Hollywood Squares, which a lot of people think is a little gay, but I think it's cool. I grew up watching Hollywood Squares, and the idea that I would be on it is an absolutely preposterous notion.
Weird, yeah.
I could sooner see myself getting an Academy Award than being on, because I used to sit with my grandpa and watch that show.
Yeah, sick. It's home from school, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Which was 3 days a week.
Of course.
Hope.
Hey.
Hey, you're 17. What's going on?
Well, about a week ago, I was talking to my friend. We were just sitting there talking, and all of a sudden she kissed me. And then she asked me if I would want to have sex with her.
How good a friend is this?
Like my best friend.
How long have you known her? 3 years.
And has she ever talked about her sexual orientation?
Yeah.
What's the deal?
Well, she lets her tongue do the talking.
What's the deal?
Well, I knew that she was bisexual.
Okay.
How old is she?
How old is she?
Mm-hmm.
She's 16.
Did she come from a tough family system? Was she chaotic? What happened to her when she was growing up?
Her dad and her mom used to be heavy partiers.
Like heavy drugs?
Yeah.
How did they get out of that?
They got divorced.
Mm-hmm.
Did anything happen to her during that time? That people?
Yeah. Her father's friends raped her.
That's nice.
There you go.
That's nice. Well, so she has been sexually abused and raped, and because of that, it's affected her sexual identity and her sense of what is and is not appropriate interpersonal behavior. She has no boundaries to those things.
Yeah.
She gets an impulse, she just kind of acts on it. It's not a good situation to get involved with somebody who's been through that sort of thing. They're very chaotic, and especially somebody with whom you value their friendship and you want to retain that.
Yeah, well, I've just felt real awkward around her ever since.
Well,
I don't know.
she's going to have trouble either way. She's going to feel kind of abandoned by you if you have a relationship and it's not perfect, which it, of course, can't be, or if you don't respond. She's going to have a reaction, but stand firm, let her know you're there, just remain present the way you've always been, but don't get sucked into the chaos.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Be your friend. I mean, if she's somebody you care about and she's your friend, but you've got to stand real
You're not
clear.
really doing her any favors by being a party or willing accomplice to her chaos.
Yeah.
No.
You know what I mean?
No, it's more. In fact, hope is the one hope that this girl has to do something healthy. I mean, people that are able to retain the relationship and contain it and and form boundaries and keep the relationship going. That's a model for relationships for her that if she could learn to absorb, she'd be better.
Hope needs to be the velvet rope, not the water bed.
That wasn't good.
It wasn't?
No. I thought you did.
I thought it was all right.
All right.
It was okay, because they put the rope
I
up.
expect a lot more of you.
Like when you're at the bank,
Yeah.
and they got the rope there.
All right.
Kind of keeps you in line.
Okay.
But it doesn't, smack you over the head. Just sort of suggests that you shouldn't.
She's going to be more like electrified barbed wire, I think, with this one.
Anna,
Yeah,
you're 14.
yeah,
You have an update for us?
yeah, I don't know if you remember, I called, about, I guess maybe it was about a week ago, about my dad. He'd been, molesting me.
Is your dad an attorney?
Psychiatrist.
Psychiatrist.
Is that that
Oh,
one?
Drew, you missed a good attorney call. You would have been outraged. Same thing with an attorney. But your dad's a psychiatrist, right?
Yeah.
I'm actually more outraged by the psychiatrist because there are two
attorneys are supposed to be a-holes.
There are two relationships that I really hold sacred. One is the parent-child, and the other is the physician-patient. And this is a violation of both here with Anna. Is that he's a psychiatrist and he's behaving like this, which means to me he's doing this with patients.
See, for me, the two relationships are the guy who skippers the minor league baseball team and the guy who drives the Zamboni.
I can't even follow you.
All right.
Yeah, well, I first of all, I just wanted to kind of thank you because, after I talked to you, I got the courage to talk to, one of my former counselors
Great.
at school.
Oh, great. And what happened?
And well, she's older, in her 60s and retired, but she basically, told me that she didn't want me staying at home.
Great.
So,
Let me
Freak out.
interject.
Yeah.
Drew. That was a bizarre radio notion you had there.
So recap.
Yeah, usually we're not interested in doing good radio, but I think we both came upon it at the same time.
This is such an important call, so go ahead, Anna.
The recap is, and Anna can correct me if I'm wrong, but her dad's a psychiatrist. Her mom is some sort of, like, I don't know, investment banker or some sort of professional, white collar.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And her dad was having intercourse with her for
many years.
Since the age of, I don't know, 12 or something?
Since about 10.
Yeah.
And you got on the pill so that he could do this without...
Mom put her on the pill so she could do it without getting pregnant. And
right.
It wasn't until a boyfriend showed up and started registering his concern and supporting her that the house of cards began to fall, and the father threatened to kill her and the boyfriend. Remember that?
See, Drew, your mind is so pristine. My mind gets, like, bits and pieces of that, and then there's also part of, like, a Cheech and Chong album from 1977 that's going through it,
but that's
too.
What makes it more fun to listen to you than me.
I know, but your mind is just, it's like a lily white sheet hanging out on a boring clothesline with a wind blowing through it.
Interesting for some. Boring for most.
Anyway, so, Anna, you took steps. We talked to you, was it a week ago?
Yeah.
What's happening now? Because I talked to her off the air a little bit too. So where are you now?
Yeah, I've been staying with the counselor.
Wow.
She had grown up children, and she's a certified, I guess, psychologist.
Okay.
So I've been staying with her, but of course that really angered my parents, and my dad's been, I guess you could say, stalking me to some extent since I left probably last Tuesday, and he sometimes will sit outside her house.
Has your counselor friend gotten the authorities involved?
We're like talking about that.
If you remember, that was our big message to you, right?
I know, and she's really trying to encourage me to do that.
Let me repeat it too, just so we're all clear: is that this is a bigger problem that we could even hope to begin to scratch the surface of in a few minutes on the radio, but that it's clear that if this is indeed happening, that some authorities need to be involved in this. And God bless you for getting the help you need to start the process of making yourself safe and better. And I hope this is a good person you've chose, but again, you need a whole system to support you if this is in fact what's going on.
All right, but she's come a long way in a week.
And Anna, Anna, keep listening, because you'll find that I bet you we'll have callers that will call and give feedback, similar experiences, and want to support you on this. And we'll touch base with her. Do we have her number? And we touch base with her again? All right, so we'll keep in touch with her.
All right. There's more good radio, Drew, because I'm going to a call now that has a comment on Anna.
All right.
What did you do? Go to some sort of... Were you on vacation with your wife, or you go to some sort of radio seminar? What's gotten into you? What makes me nervous?
I was thinking, I
know you're going to
sleep.
Spitting out the call letters at the top of the hour.
Sleep.
Elizabeth.
Hi.
For Christ's sake, you ought to sleep more often. What's going on? You're 31?
Yeah. I had actually tried to get through right after I heard Anna's call the first time.
Last week, yeah.
Yeah. Just to sort of make a more general comment about chronic long-term sexual abuse and all the people that you talk to who suffer from this, which is that that she brought up something that seemed to slightly surprise you, but I think goes on more often than it doesn't, which is that the element of emotional abuse with sexual abuse, it's almost as if you were talking about it at the time as if it could happen kind of in a pure state or something, but there's always, when that goes on, there's always there's an ethos, there's an emotional environment that makes it possible over and over again, and such as like Anna's mother saying that it was her fault and she was...
Yeah, we sort of throw that in the category of, for lack of a better way of describing on the radio, as being a good victim.
Yeah,
victim mentality that develops.
I just kind of wanted to point out that in some ways, I mean, that always happens. If somebody's being sexually abused, there's always some really horrible...
Of course. How could it not? How could it not?
Yeah, that goes along with it. It just doesn't always get a chance to be talked about because you have to deal in kind of broad strokes on your show.
So,
and this one...
Well, yeah, but I just mean, the reason we don't really get into it is because...
we can't.
but it's like the building's on fire, and you're talking about the patio furniture, which you're going to have to replace. You know, meaning it's such a tragedy, and there's so much going on, and there's so many bigger fish to fry that we don't really get into it. But it's obviously, if you're having sex with your daughter, even if you never say a word to her while you're having sex or at the dinner table, there's a huge emotional and psychological end to that. Yeah. That's, I mean, it's implied.
Absolutely.
So, Elizabeth,
it rarely happens that way. Usually,
there's always a chosen child.
I'm saying even if they never said even if the guy's molesting you is a mute and never says a word to you, it's still a mind F as well as a physical
Elizabeth,
F.
You're 31 now. How old were you when you were sexually abused?
I was as near as I can tell, 5, 6, something like that.
How'd you know she was sexually abused?
Because she
being a little facetious.
Well, but I could tell. I got a feeling.
Well, because nobody's interested in any topics that they haven't experienced.
There's that in this show, but also to have to point out, that it's such an emotional abuse suggests a level of detachment that it's not obvious how extraordinarily fracturing emotionally the experience would be.
Right.
I mean, it's just anybody who's not been through that, just even the thought of it calls into just destructive annihilation and incredible feelings of violation.
Right.
And to have to point that out suggests that you're sort of detached from those sorts of feelings and need to have them pointed out for yourself.
Right, Joe. I feel like I'm being emotionally abused by your ramblings now.
All right. Well, then stop me.
Oh, that's what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Thank you for not doing an abusive way for a change.
It's just on one of my radio rolls, and you jumped in.
Okay.
Phunk Junkeez are out there. They're going to be in here. We're going to break just a minute or two early, and we'll be back.
Dan, John, and Jake. We're Semisonic, and you're listening to Loveline with Adam Carolla and Dr. Drew.
Yes, you is. Phone number 1-800-LVE-191. We have Joe and Roach Clip in here from the Phunk Junkeez, and Drew, everybody! Wow, this is an honor. Hey, what brings you in so early? I thought you were going to be on the phone for a while.
I wrapped it up, and dude, we've been back together 20 minutes, and it's getting a little harsh in here already.
The sass content a little high in the show for you already. Well, it's just
just a welcome back.
I don't want to get
it's an embrace. I expect when I come in here.
Let me interview the band, and let me just say this, by the way, before we get into it with the Phunk Junkeez. Dr. Bruce, God bless him. Dr. Bruce comes in here
an hour early.
We had Candlebox in here last night.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he's an hour early. Brings a thermos in real cream instead of that chalk that Westwood One provides and calls non-dairy creamer over in this dump known as Westwood. We like to call it Westwood 2 affectionately. But anyway, the point is he's here an hour early, and he comes walking in, and I go, hey, Bruce, what do you know about Candlebox? He goes, well, I was looking up their website today. And I said, holy Christ, you looked up their website? Yeah. I said, was that like just a coincidence? No, I knew they were coming in, so I looked up their website, and I thought to myself, not in a billion years would Drew even begin to entertain that notion.
Not in a billion.
2 billion.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let me talk to the Phunk Junkeez now. Third album.
Yep. First real one.
First real one.
Yeah.
And it was out. Was it like yesterday or something?
Last week, the 14th.
And what I think I want to do before I get into my interview with the band, which I'm famous for.
Yeah, you're a good interviewer.
Usually goes something like,
you're the big interview guy.
So you guys are from Arizona? We're from St. Paul. Oh, yeah. Let's go to Arizona. Is that in Arizona? Why don't we hear a song, and then you'll know what the band's about if you don't already, and then we'll come back and talk to them. And this one's called Hazy. That's from the Phunk Junkeez. You know, I got to tell you, I like that, and I'm normally... I never liked any of the sample stuff or any of that stuff, and in the last, 10 minutes I've had a conversion. No, like the last year or something, because we get all these bands in here who I normally wouldn't listen to at all. Like Crystal Method comes in here, and then, Gravity Kills comes in after them, and they're nice guys, and then I put their CD in, and I go, oh, that's pretty good.
Never would have paid attention to it before.
No.
Until they come in here into your studio.
And they look me straight in the eye, and they force my hand.
What a job you got, man. You get to hear new music, too.
All right, so how many guys in the band, all total, and how does like a live gig work?
5 guys. Yeah, 5 guys playing each their own instrument.
several instruments, like Roach here.
Mm-hmm.
He plays the, well, I guess you could call it playing, the turntables.
Right.
And keyboards, and does, like, vocals. And then we have a bass player, Jimmy, who's not here. And then we got a guitar player, and our drummer. And then I do vocals. And like an idiot.
When it comes to doing, like, a sample, do you have to, like, pre-load it into the computer or into the...
Yeah, I got samplers that I'm loading up, you know, for sound check and then before the show as well.
He's got the little zip drive set up so we can squish them all down and have it all,
right.
You know.
It's
a nightmare.
It'd be a mess.
Yeah, power goes out, your show's shot.
I could play like the cider jug if I was drunk, but I couldn't imagine hitting the right button at the right time. Yeah. I mean, isn't that what you have to do if you're...
Yeah, I got about 50 or so buttons I got to hit.
Don't let them fool you, though. They're never, like, they're not, like, always on time.
No, rarely.
So it's like, you know, he doesn't hit the button always on time, but usually.
But it can always just be art or some extended dance version if you F up. All right, well, I'm going to give some tour dates where you can find the Phunk Junkeez later on in the evening. Actually, not too much later on, but we'll get to the phones first. Wendy.
Uh-huh.
You're 21.
Yes.
What's going on over there?
Hold on a second, City. I was, with my last 2 pregnancies, I...
3 kids, 21.
Yes.
All right.
You got 3 kids?
Huh?
Are you married?
Yes.
Dad is the same dad of all 3?
No.
It's such a novelty these days.
He starts with that,
Yeah, Drew can do more with a grunt than a lot of people can do with, like, a rusty garden hoe. He's sort of like the boring James Brown.
So what's going on now, Wendy?
When I went into labor with the 2 of them, I wasn't actually sure that I was in labor.
Right.
I never felt my contractions.
Did you go full term?
Yes.
Okay.
My first one was 8 days late. My second one was 4.
Okay. How did the doctor just timed it for you?
Actually, no. My first one, I was still living at home, and I punched my brother. And so my mom decided that that's when I was in labor. My daughter was born 3.5 hours later.
Punch, that's an interesting sign of imminent delivery. But go ahead. I don't quite follow. But in any event, what's up today?
Well, he made a joke, and I hit him.
Yeah.
Because it hurt. But, I don't know.
Hold on, Wendy?
Yes.
Let me ask you a couple of questions.
Okay.
How old is your oldest child?
6.
6. Let's just do some math here. Oh, my God, you're 21?
Mm-hmm.
That means she was 19 when... No, she was 15, 14, 15?
15.
But 15 when she delivered.
15 at delivery?
Yeah.
14 when you ordered the parcel?
It was right about my 15th birthday. I don't know exactly.
All right. And that's the guy who's not around?
No, actually, that one's still around.
Oh, he is?
Yes.
Well, then which guy... Then you got pregnant again when you were how old?
I had her when I was 18.
Pregnant? Yeah, married yet?
No.
No, so you were pregnant again at 17 and change?
Mm-hmm.
And that was with a different guy?
Sure.
Right?
Yes.
And then when was the...
He disappeared.
He disappeared.
He disappeared, okay. And then who got you pregnant for the 3rd time? The first guy?
No, my husband.
Your husband?
3 different guys.
So he came back.
Ooh, wait a minute. Was it 3 different guys?
Yes.
Wow. God, your vagina must be confused. It's like, hey, what's this?
Huh?
Oh, my God, this one's wide.
It's a party.
Oh, all right, hold on. We got to gamble on you, Wendy.
Okay.
All right, hold on a second. You Phunk Junkeez got any monkey? A monkey.
Whoa.
You say,
hey, what are you talking about breaking monkey out here, guy?
You say Phunk Junkie, and the next word of your mouth is you can't say money.
What's
you
my
cannot
dad
say.
doing in Israel?
It's a running joke here.
Yeah, what's
you got $1?
What are we betting on?
Well, don't worry about it, smart guy. Just get that $1 out.
I only got 10.
Roach clip?
Star.
I'm coming.
All right.
For one?
All right.
Spot me for one.
All right, here's what we're gambling on. So we're trying to say Phunk Junkie and then money real fast after it.
Phunk Junkie Monkey.
You're screwing with me, you idiot. Okay, here's what we're gambling on. Her past. She's had 3 different kids with 3 different groins and 3 different guys, and what the hell happened to her that got her pregnant at 15 and that brought her to this stage so quickly and that caused the chaos that is her life? Meaning, was her dad an alcoholic? Physical abuse, emotional abuse, maybe nothing. That's not a bad gamble either. Sometimes you just go with, hey, the kid's just whacked out, the family's great. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
All right. Drew, who wants to go first?
Oh, I got this peg.
Roach has got a peg.
Go ahead.
Yeah, she, well, obviously she didn't use protection.
What's that got to do with anything?
Okay, and I want to talk to you about bookings.
Immediately.
What is it in her family history? I'm going to give you some options, Roach Clip, because when you got a name like Roach Clip, you need options.
No, I was going to tell you guys, I was going to forewarn you about Roach Clip. You got to,
He seems pretty.
It's got to be
I don't know.
much.
No, he seems pretty lucid to me, and he can push all his buttons at almost the right time. So I think he's sharp. Were her parents alcoholics? Was the dad physically or sexually abusive? Maybe Dad died. Maybe Dad died when she was 2. Maybe some uncle felt her up. Something happened in her past, and that's what we're gambling on.
What the actual event
Right.
happened.
Drew, why don't you go first and set an example for the last?
I think Dad left very young age, 1, 2.
Mm-hmm.
Mom was probably an addict, brought some guys around who were quasi-abusive, but not terrible abuse for her. And I think she may be bipolar.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're going with Dad split early, lives in Alaska?
Wherever. Mom's addict, a little chaos with the guy she brought around.
All right, but no sexual abuse?
No.
And no alcoholism? Okay, fine.
I said Mom's an addict.
Oh, okay.
I'm definitely going to run with Pops was not around.
Yeah, but Drew's already ran with that.
Yeah, specific.
Yeah,
this
is gambling.
Well, I'm just because of the 3 kids, I'm going with sexual.
Sexually abused.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good bet.
That's what I'm going with.
That's an easy bet.
All
that was Adam's bet.
All right,
plus the young age gives you that,
I'm sticking with the protection thing.
All right, listen, you're going to lose $1.
He just likes giving money to Drew.
Go with parents are still together, but Dad's an alcoholic.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, that's solid.
What are you going with?
That would have been mine. I'm trying to think what options. I'm just going to go with sexual molest. Someone felt her up. Someone got hold of her. Oh, what? Joe?
I got that.
Somebody other than Dad.
Someone other than Dad.
Okay. You're going for the uncle.
Yeah, right. All right. Where was she?
6.
6? Okay.
By the way, let me answer her question, too, which we have not gotten to yet.
Okay.
But after we find out what happened.
Wendy?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Who's right about your past? Or tell us about your past.
My parents divorced when I was 12, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
My dad is an alcoholic.
Oh, was that?
That wasn't me.
Oh, that's the one I gave Roach Clip, for Christ's sake.
You gave him.
I knew this.
Okay, and?
I was molested by a babysitter.
Oh! Now, people think it's cruel when someone says when they're molested and you go, yes!
Me and Adam are going, yes!
But we knew something was up.
Yeah, it's the only way people behave like this.
And I wasn't using protection.
Yeah, surprise.
Oh, we don't need to give Roach anything.
Okay, so you guys split. You and Roach split.
Me and Roach split?
Yeah. Okay, so anyway,
I'm giving you $1, Roach, because I gave you that.
I got 2 answers right, though.
What'd you get?
No protection and...
Oh, please. You should be happy to get that $1 yours back, please. Taking these $3.
Wendy, we don't mean... We are definitely not making fun of you. We're just trying to make a point of how predictable it is that this kind of history in the present speaks volumes about what happened in the past, and we can actually predict it and make a point about it. But it's more for our listeners than for you. You had a specific question.
Yeah. Anyways.
God bless you for getting married, trying to have a stable family right now. Your kids sound great. And just stay, you know not to fight those chaotic feelings, right?
But can you not have any more kids, Wendy?
I'm having my kids fight. I have 2 girls.
Oh, you are?
This one's a boy.
Let me ask you this.
Done.
Are you bipolar?
No.
Have you ever been on psychiatric medications?
Nope.
Okay. Go ahead.
Have you got counseling for what happened to you?
No.
Okay, well, get counseling. Or get the tube side, whatever comes first. But you got to get some counseling. Wendy, you don't want to screw your 3 kids up, do you?
Oh, no.
All right, well, then you got to get counseling. But, Drew, address that whatever question.
What was the question?
Okay, when I went into labor with my first one, I had been having Braxton Hicks contractions.
Right. That is what those are, basically preterm labor, contractions of the uterus that don't lead to labor. They aren't actually labor. Right. And women feel them as contractions, and they're benign. Okay? But you didn't feel those, right?
I felt a couple here and there, and then the day that I went into labor, I had been having them during the day, and they weren't, anything big. That wasn't...
So you couldn't tell the difference between Braxton Hicks and labor?
Not until I had a really strong one.
All right. Okay.
And my brother made a joke, and
Got it. Okay.
And my mom says, I think we need to take you to the doctor.
Okay, got it. All right.
So, and my daughter was born 3.5 hours later.
What's the question now?
My second one.
All right, listen. I don't want to go over the genealogy of the entire family. Just what's the question?
Well, how am I going to know this time? Because my second one, I only felt my contractions for 45 minutes. I didn't feel them the entire time.
And now what's happening?
45 minutes before she was born, they broke my label with her.
Are you having any? Are you feeling anything now?
I've been having Braxton Hicks contractions for probably a week.
When was the last time you were checked?
My doctor hasn't checked me yet. I'm only 34 weeks about.
So you've not been checked to see if you're dilated at all or anything?
No.
Get checked.
My doctor keeps telling me as long as I can make them go away, then it's okay.
How do you make them go away? Alcohol.
Ignore them.
Ignore them. I would take this a little more seriously and make sure you get checked. I mean, clearly for you, there's a fine line between labor and these Braxton Hicks type contractions. You've got to take this all quite seriously, and you can't be the judge of what's happening. One thing that is for sure and is clear that if you get something that even remotely you experience like a labor contraction, you've got to move fast because this one will be even quicker than the next one.
Hey, anyone ever try to adopt a pet? You know, when you go down, you're driving around with your girlfriend, and there's somebody set up on the corner, and there's a little pen, and it's in front of some stationery store, and there's a bunch of little dogs out there. Yeah. You know what's involved with getting one of those dogs? You don't get to take them home that day.
Right.
You got to, like, fill out a bunch of paperwork, and then someone comes over to your house, and they look at it. They want to see if the pool's covered, and if you got a fence around it, and if the fence around the house is high enough so that they don't get, you know, into the neighbor's yard or out on the street. We have rules. See what I'm saying? That's for dogs. But people that basically get screwed over by their family, get molested by the neighbor, and are in God knows what kind of psychiatric condition can churn out as many kids as they want, and we can't say a goddamn thing.
Right.
This is something I believe we need a rule about. Not the direction in which my car's parked when it's in front of my own effing garage. That's not a rule we need to enforce. Or how many layers of new roof I can put on my house before I got to pull a new permit or get a structural engineer. We got enough of these rules. Got enough of these goddamn rules.
Such a delight to be back. I know that some things do not change.
Let's start putting some rules in place for people like Wendy, because who is going to take care of Wendy's 3 kids? Roaches.
Augie's protection.
Sorry, Mike. I can't see you with the reflection tonight. Joe and Roachcliffe are here from the Phunk Junkeez. Name the album Fear of a Whack Planet. Drew, you ready to rock and roll here?
Yeah.
Your record guy was just telling me that you guys are both grew up in the same place in Alaska and didn't know it until you met in Phoenix?
Yeah. Years later.
You're St. Paul, Adam.
What's that? Hell? You must have died. And weren't you miserable in Phoenix? I mean, wasn't it too hot after living in Alaska?
Yeah, it was quite a, yeah, it was pretty trippy, actually.
I couldn't.
But it's a dry heat, you know? It's like walking around in a hairdryer.
Yeah, my oven's a dry heat, too.
Exactly.
Still, you burn yourself, you crawled inside of it. Oh, I can't imagine all those poor bastards out there. It's 115 degrees.
And heat.
It's pouring.
That's even from a non-native
What is that? Yeah, it's a dry heat. What is that? It's a hairdryer constantly for like a month and a half.
Could not imagine. I mean, I grew up in the San Fernando Valley. I was miserable. I mean, you know, San Fernando Valley during the summer probably average 97, 98 degrees or something. But, you know, 114, forget about it.
I think people in the real arid desert areas prepare for the summer the way the people in the northern regions prepare for winter.
Right.
They just stay inside.
Yeah, you just go inside.
That's it. We out here go on as though we're all still living in a beach community.
Right.
We ain't.
Yeah.
We live in a chaparral.
No, Chaparral?
That's officially what this is, I think.
Oh, it is?
Desert, semi-arid.
I thought it was the name of that Hot Wheel.
That, too.
I mean, that was a silhouette.
That's the Chaparral.
There was a Chaparral. All right. See, my mind does still work. Michelle.
Hi.
Hey, you're 22. You're on Loveline.
Yeah. Hi, guys. Dr. Drew and Adam. Adam, I agree with you on a lot of stuff. People should be, like, sterilized sometimes.
That's right. You're next, honey.
Dr. Drew, I really appreciate everything. You guys give good advice. That's why I'm calling tonight.
Okay.
I dated a boy when I was 17. We got together. We were together for 1.5 years. The first love of my life. I mean, I was truly in love with him. We thought we were going to get married. He was my first boyfriend, my first kiss, my first everything. He broke up with me 1.5 years later. We had a real close relationship. After about 8 months, his best friend died. and he started taking the frustration out on me.
How did the friend die?
He had diabetes, and he didn't take care of it, and he died about a month after he was diagnosed. But the thing is, he had called me a bitch about 2 weeks before he died, so my boyfriend quit talking to him. So 2 days before he died, he realized he was very sick, went into the hospital, that was it. His friend died, and then I really do think he kind of blamed the fact that he didn't see him for the last month on me. To get past that, after that happened, everything went downhill. He was very verbally abusive. I was always a stupid effing, bitch and just stuff like that.
Did he ever strike you or anything?
Actually the day of his friend's funeral, he did pick me up and throw me. And I landed on a bed, and I got up, and we did have a physical fight. But that was it. I mean, he never did anything.
Did he hit you in the course of that physical encounter?
No, actually he didn't. What he did was he tried to hold me off, honestly, because I was scared.
All right, okay, so.
Anyway, it went downhill from there, very verbally abusive. In my family, my parents, I couldn't speak to my mother in the wrong tone of voice. My parents were very respectful of each other. They had arguments, but never, called each other names.
When you did, as a child, speak to your mom in the wrong tone, as children always do, did she smack you or anything?
No. I mean, we did get cracked, but usually not for something like that.
How would she crack you?
Huh?
What, would they use an object to hit you?
Oh, no, crack, I'm sorry, smack across the face.
Okay.
My father was raised very old world Italian.
Okay, so you're going to seek that out in your relationship, and of course this guy is just right for that.
I realize that, and I do know that right now. I tried dating a guy that was very calm, and I couldn't handle it. I needed
my dad's old world Italian is a pussy.
What? What is
Kick his ass.
What?
My dad's old world Italian. Well, it's not really old world, but my dad's all Italian. He's
not one of those Dagos. No, my father's not one of those Dagos. No, but you're very respectful of your parents. I mean, now it's he lightened up in the past 10 years. But I mean, when I was, when you're younger, you don't talk back.
It's all imprinted though. You've already stuck. You're stuck with what you're stuck with.
All right. So what's your question?
Anyway, well, you have to let me finish quickly.
No, we don't. See, that's where you're wrong.
Adam, please. Okay. Anyway, things went downhill from there. I went through severe depression because I was not happy at home. You guys are going to probably want to bet on that one. Very unhappy at home, so I stayed at his house.
We would, but roaches take an hour and 45 minutes to venture a guess, so we'll scrap that for the night.
Anyway, he breaks up with me after we're together a year and a half. It came out of the blue. I thought he loved me. He called me a week before he broke up with me.
Got it.
Okay.
I'm ready to come over there and smack you on.
I'm sorry. Wait. Okay, I'll try to calm down. He broke up with me.
Told me. Like it or not.
I try to talk to guys. I'm not attracted to anybody.
You found the perfect victim role for you.
I really don't know what to do because I'm wearing my friends out with this whole situation. It's okay, they're really getting tired of hearing about this guy.
All right, hey, let me ask you something. Is this guy has been married for how long?
A month and a half.
Mm-hmm. Have you seen him since he's been married?
No, but we've talked on the phone a couple times.
But you had sex with him during the time that he was engaged?
During the engagement.
Getting ready to meet?
He's been with the same girl since this is the girl he left me for.
Right.
I've been with him.
Okay.
He's messed around for 2 years now.
All right.
She must be a great victim, that one.
Yeah. Oh, and she's pregnant. Oh, boy. One more reason to leave the country. Michelle?
Yeah.
Okay, so listen.
He wants
listen to me. I don't care what this guy does.
Girl during sex.
He what?
He wants to dress up like a girl during sex and act out these other fantasies.
Beautiful.
That was out of left field.
Yeah, it was.
Not really.
That's what I was trying to tell you.
All right.
Who's trying to get to that?
All right. Well, now that's a deal breaker.
Okay.
Well, he's a fetishist. He probably is going to get you into some violent stuff too. And
he's married. His wife's pregnant.
He's just a nightmare. He's a sociopath, basically.
I'm not a professional. These guys obviously are. But my opinion is this, that if the guy is acting like that from the get-go, I mean, the guy, obviously, with his friend being gone and stuff, had a seriously traumatic thing happen to him.
Yeah.
At that point, if I was you, I would have broke north in. You know what I mean? Because now it's like, it seems like the more you stay with this guy, the farther you get into these things that he's into.
Absolutely.
And as it grows, it's obviously a bad situation.
Yeah.
I
realize that.
And it's not, I don't think it's a fact that you can't get a boyfriend.
What happened to him growing up?
That's right.
His father cheated on his mother with a teacher at his school, and then his mom used him against his father, like, oh, your father's a jerk, and, you know...
All right, and Michelle, we're not going to gamble on you, but just real fast, what weird thing happened to you when you're growing up?
Nothing weird happened to me, but my mother is on and off, and my father is a heroin addict.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, it's real old world Italian.
Hey.
Wait, yeah, you see those guys, they're out grinding the organ and shooting junk.
He goes to work.
Please. Old world Italian. He's got those old world values. Except for the heroin part. You know. Oh, for Christ's sake.
You kids, get off of my doogie.
Michelle, don't break up with the guy. He's already married. You're already broken up. Just, please, there are other guys out there who will abuse you equally well. Go find one of them.
And here's, Michelle, you know there's something up with you right now, right? And why not get some help with that? You're obsessed with these very victimizing, dysfunctional relationships. You're going to find another one. Get some help. Change what's going on internally so you can really achieve the true intimacy you want.
Don't get pregnant. Todd.
Hey, how's it going,
You're 26. Oh, man. You realize how fast this Michelle would chew up and spit out a guy who was halfway decent to her?
Right. And then run around. And I'm sure she runs around talking to everybody about why there aren't any decent men left in the world.
Right.
Where all the decent men are taken.
Right. All the cross-dressing philanderers who throw me around like a pro wrestler. They're all gone.
Taken.
They're all gone. They're all accounted for.
Where can I find a good man like that?
Yeah, perhaps go down to Tijuana and go to one of those holding tanks. Maybe
I got a few friends I could set her up with.
Todd.
Yeah, how's it going, guys?
All right, what's going on?
Hey, you guys are great. I watch you guys on TV, too. You give good advice.
Thanks.
I got a different kind of question for you guys tonight. I'm an on-air sportscaster on TV, and I kind of want some advice on, I've had girlfriends when I was in college, but I've been out of college for a couple years, and how I can meet women, like I don't like the bar scene, how I can meet women that aren't going to want to date me just because I'm the guy that does sports on TV.
All right, let's take this after the break.
All right, can you hang on?
Yeah.
You understand that being doing what you do for a living.
I know about the break.
You know what I like about watching the sportscast is how they have to use a different a different verb for winning. You know what I mean? When they're reading the box scores and they go Montreal over Denver. KC puts a whooping on.
Pulls it out.
So and so punishes when it pulls out. They'll never say the same word twice, and they'll never use the word wins.
Yeah.
And I wonder if there's enough teams who played that night, you might start running out of words that instead of win. What am I looking for here, Drew? I mean, what is the English the grammar terminology?
Synonyms?
As a synonym?
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna write a few of those down during the break, and we'll be back. I'll tell you what I'll do. Let me give some of these dates out. First, in the month of August, they will... Oh, actually, why don't we start in the month that we're currently in?
Fine.
Does that sound good?
Brilliant.
People think it's... if I went to July after August, I think it was July 99, you know? This is good radio.
Yeah, we're hyping the album.
You're in San Fran tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
And Hollywood.
More tomorrow.
Oh, you're back here Thursday, and San Diego on Friday, and the 25th, which is Saturday. They'll be in fabulous Riverside, California. And Phoenix, your hometown.
Big time.
On Sunday the 26th.
What's up, Phoenix?
And then into August, on the 4th, they'll be in Minneapolis, which is in Phoenix, right?
Yeah.
And Chicago on Wednesday the 5th, and then on into Cincinnati on Friday the 7th. And again, there'll be more places than this, but these are the places that we're in, so that's why we're alerting you to it. All right. Now, when we left off, we're speaking to Todd. Todd's 26. Todd's a sportscaster, and Todd?
Yeah.
First off, to answer my question, give me the different descriptions of how, other words you would use in place of win.
In place of win?
Yeah, like over, gets by, trounces.
I'd say, like St. Louis thumps.
Thumps. That's
we didn't
good.
even think of that one.
That's good. I'll tell you what. I have the sports page in front of me, so I'm going to read some of the baseball matchups.
Okay.
And you put the word in.
All right.
And I'll make up some scores. Angels.
Blank.
Oh, yeah, you fill the blank there.
Game.
Okay.
You right there?
All right.
Angels.
Embarrass.
Oh, okay. Now, you just put in the word.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, but he said Angels.
Okay.
All right, you ready? And then I'll put in the team. You ready? Angels.
Thump.
Minnesota, 4-1. Boston.
Knocks off.
Cleveland. Boston.
Annihilates.
Chicago.
Slams.
Wait a minute. We lost Beat here. Toronto.
Destroys.
Seattle. Detroit.
Rips.
New York. And Oakland.
Bomb.
Baltimore, 14-2. All right.
Well, I'll see the different words for home run.
Oh, yeah, give us a few of those.
I like to use the pastry words like ding-dong, you know. So you kind of mix it up, you know, you use kind of the sports center type approach.
Right. Chocodile's not a good one, though.
So what is the question?
Well, where do you do sports?
In Missouri.
And on a local TV station?
Right. I don't want to say what station.
I understand.
So the question is how do you meet women, or are you concerned that they're coming to you because of your position in the media?
No, how I would meet them, because you know I haven't had a steady girlfriend since college.
It would seem like your being in the media would help you meet people, no?
Well, and that's kind of my concern, because I don't want women coming up to me saying, "Oh yeah, you're Todd, you're the guy off."
Of course you do.
No, I don't want those.
Why get into it? What do you mean you don't want those kind of people?
Because I want people to like me for who I am inside.
Well, you're a sports guy, right?
Right.
What are you, a celloist?
No.
Christ's sake, you talk about the sports, whether you got a bad coat, stupid hairdo, and you use words like thumps. So that's why they're coming up to you. Then your job is a guy. See, look, as a guy, all you need is people to come up to you. You'll do the rest. Now, if she's there because she thinks you got a fat wallet,
even better.
Even better. Let her believe that.
The key is that. I'm sure you're familiar with this.
Oh, yeah, the ladies love me.
Ladies love Adam. I think that, I lost my train of thought, but,
Well, all right, I'm going to put some words in your mouth. As a guy, you try to get yourself in a position
where
in
the
life.
girls want you.
Right. Now, sometimes it means, and I'm not talking about BS stuff, I'm just talking about getting your ass together. Working in a decent place, wearing a decent suit, driving a decent car, living in a decent condo. These are all things that women look at.
All the basic C's: cash, car, condo.
Right. Condom, hopefully, and they're attracted to you because of it. Now, whether they're gold diggers or not, that's for you to figure out after the first couple of dates. But if they're going to come to you, then you do the work after that.
So use it as a tool.
The trick is every girl and every guy, no matter what, people are attracted to people because of what they are, who they are, what they got. Oh, that guy, I like him. But I think that no matter what, it's just a matter of finding a good girl that likes you for what you are.
Well, how's anyone going to know what a beautiful aura you have from across the bar? I mean, how is someone going to know how sensitive you are from across the bar?
Or from watching you on TV, too. Because like I said to you earlier, you look a lot bigger on TV. You're a lot smaller on radio.
I'll still kick your ass. But if they're attracted to you, and that could come in and be the icebreaker, hey, I saw you on TV, then you can start talking to them and take it from there.
If that sort of violates his sensibilities, though, at the beginning, it's hard for him to overcome that. And what he should do is rely on friends to introduce him to people cold, not for what he does, but for who he is and the relationships he has.
Then he's never going to score.
No, he will. And so I would network with your friends to put you together with people that you would like, and that's the alternative.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if he has some good sexual descriptions, like the last 20 girls he had sex with, his thumbs, bangs, worked.
Let's go on.
Ground.
You can go ahead and ruminate about that.
Alicia.
Yeah?
You're 15.
Yeah, hi.
What's going on?
Just like a few weeks ago, I was pregnant, and I took some pills and I got rid of it, and
What are you talking about?
Some pills that my friend gave me because she had those.
What are you talking about, Alicia? There's no such thing unless it's RU-486 from out of the country.
Yeah, it was.
You got RU-486 in the country?
Yeah.
No.
No, because she was raped, and the doctor gave that to her.
Yeah, they give her the morning after pill.
Yeah,
that will work. That will work within 3 days of a sexual encounter. Beyond that, it does not work.
Oh, really? Oh, but anyways.
How far along were you before she gave you those pills?
I was actually a couple days. I took a test and everything, and
Alicia, you're making all this up.
No, I'm not.
You can't tell. The pregnancy test takes 2 weeks to turn positive, Alicia, so it can't have been a couple of days.
Okay.
Okay, you're making it all up.
No, I'm not.
Well, you're either retarded or making it up.
The doctor tells me.
I'm sorry.
Well, listen. Alicia?
Yeah?
I want to believe you.
Okay.
Why do I want to believe her? Now listen, how many days pregnant were you before you took these pills?
Well, see,
How many days?
Oh, gee, a few weeks. And, like...
A few weeks?
Yeah, I took a test.
Okay.
I was late on my period.
Okay. Now, those pills won't do anything for a pregnancy.
Oh, really?
Right.
I was like, yeah. And I just told my boyfriend about it, and...
Well, how do you know you're not pregnant, is our question.
Because I had my period, like, a month after.
Bleeding does not mean you lost the pregnancy. It may just be first trimester bleeding.
Oh, really?
You could still be pregnant. In fact, it becomes critical that you have an evaluation because
some women have their period all the way through.
Some women have periods. Some women bleed. Some women have. You could be an ectopic pregnancy, and the bleeding could be from that. Although you would expect to have more symptoms at this far down the line.
So how long ago did you get pregnant? Who cares whether you're pregnant now or not? I mean, for the sake of argument, how long ago did you get pregnant?
About 2 months ago.
Okay, so you could possibly still be 2 months pregnant.
Correct. Probably, if you were to begin with, you probably still.
What about taking another pregnancy test?
Take another pregnancy test. Now, people need to remember that most pregnancies actually end in the first trimester, so it may have just been a spontaneous abortion, which would not be uncommon at all. It would not have anything to do with you having taken those pills, though.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They didn't have little pictures of like Fred and Wilma or anything on them, did they?
No.
No, they were the pills that the doctor gave her friend because she was raped.
All right, so you need, first of all, there's many issues here, Alicia, right? One is you need to get another pregnancy test, okay, before you can even begin to deal with the issue of the pregnancy, whether or not it's present. 2, you need to educate yourself about contraception and use contraception in the future and know that the morning after pill is in fact a morning after pill. You can use it up to 3 days after a sexual encounter with great effectiveness, great efficacy, okay?
But we don't, in fact, have the RU486 pill here because we want to let... it's pretty experimental technology. It's only been around for about 25 years
in
Europe, so... We're just going to give it another 50 years, make sure some of that Euro trash doesn't die off, and then we'll bring it back into this country. Right, Drew?
Yeah, you know, there's a combination of something called misoprostol and methotrexate, which are 2 medications which are available here that you can use to induce abortion, but nobody's doing that either because of some of the legal issues.
I want to put this RU486 in the water supply of this country. You understand? I want men having spontaneous abortions. A fetus is shooting out of their penis. That's what I want. That's the world I want to live in.
Is that what you're looking for?
I want to be the oldest person in 20 years.
Homunculi being fired out of men, huh?
That's right.
And then at least
homunculi.
Those little men that get sort of wrapped across...
Sea monkeys? They get wrapped across what? Front of a ship?
Forget it.
What are homunculi?
Homunculi are like what we use to... I wouldn't know how to describe it. I mean, they use it to sort of animate what parts of the brain represent which parts of the body. I'll show you a picture once. They're little men, little tiny men is basically what they are.
Really? Like in med school they did that?
Yeah.
I got thrown out of biology. I didn't know.
I lost it with the...
And then, Alicia, there's your interpersonal situation. What's going on with this boyfriend?
Okay, yeah, and I told him about it, and he wanted to know if I still was, and I said, I don't know.
That was honest.
And like, he's all freaking out about it, and I don't know what to do, because I wasn't going to tell him at first, because,
Okay, you told him. Get another pregnancy test. Find out.
Yeah.
Is this somebody you're still involved with?
Yeah, actually.
How old is he, 19, 20?
He's 18.
Imagine that.
And we just happen to be engaged, too, so...
All right, well, that's good, right?
Yeah.
Does he have a job?
Yeah, he does.
Well, I guess that's good.
What's he do?
He had to quit?
No, he has an apartment and stuff.
18.
He works at a dairy.
Oh, really? Don't his hands get sore?
He doesn't milk the cow.
Oh, all right. I don't know. Are there other jobs at a dairy?
Yeah, he packs the feed bags and stuff.
Oh, I bet he does. Jesus Christ. This the putz you went working around your...
All right, but listen, be nice to Alicia. Listen. All right. She is one giant step ahead of many of our callers.
Yeah, that's not saying anything. That's that homunculi or whatever you're speaking of are 2 steps ahead of our callers. Our callers are in trouble, man. Believe me, the people that went down with the Titanic are a step and a half in front of most our callers.
All right, but she's engaged. She has a stable relationship.
Oh, she's 15.
Yeah, but she's... listen, okay. I don't want to disparage what is. Okay? Okay. And she needs to educate herself. She needs to think these things through. God knows she probably doesn't have parents to call upon to help her with this. Get another pregnancy test. That is the first order of business here.
Okay. All right. And let's get the word. Drew, by the way, and this show are the only show that I'm aware of, or the only place in the media that is talking about this morning after pill, this combination of the oral contraceptive pill. Basically, the pill, and you just take it in a little different combination, a little different dose.
Cocktail.
And it's like what happens is the condom breaks. Oh my God, you may be pregnant. Instead of sitting on pins and needles for 2 weeks waiting for the test, you just take these pills that are on the nightstand and the thing never takes. Why it is we're the only show and the only people that got balls enough to talk about it in this godforsaken country of ours is a mystery to me, and why we're all so obsessed with secondhand smoke and not with a bunch of young effed up kids running around with a bunch of other effed up kids that are their kids. I have no idea. And by the way, I was just telling Drew about this because I've been yelling about this secondhand smoke issue because it's getting rammed up my ass in this country. All I ever see is PSAs for secondhand smoke. I swear to God, I'm going to have to get a lung removed if I see another one of these goddamn ads.
And nothing about teen pregnancy yet.
Nothing. Never. Nothing about RU486. Nothing about the morning after pill. Nothing about teen pregnancy. I mean, if there is a PSA for teen pregnancy, it's on at 4 in the morning.
Or give them condoms.
Right. It's all the secondhand smoke and the terror of secondhand smoke. And it's all I hear all day. And you know what? They just had a report published in the Los Angeles Times, I think it was Monday, where they sort of, I don't know if it's the EPA or who it is that looks at this stuff, but they labeled secondhand smoke as like a Class A carcinogen, and they had to downgrade it because the scientific data did not support what the campaign, the smear campaign that they're trying to do, and they're just as bad as the people, the scientists that the tobacco companies hired 20 years ago to say that smoking wasn't addicting. This is just as bad, but it's the other way, and it's the government that's doing it, which makes it bad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Please, secondhand smoke.
Hello.
Everybody. Well, I swear to God, I hope their campaign encourages people to smoke. Every time I hear the commercial, I go, I need a cigarette.
Let me blow some smoke in someone's face.
Oh, you know they're full of crap. Being around someone who smokes is worse than smoking yourself. Please.
Being around 5 guys in a bus that smokes sucks.
Yeah, but, is that what you do?
Yeah.
Yeah, but believe me,
you're fifth-hand smoke.
You're going to outlive all of them. You're going to die of some sexually transmitted disease before you die of the secondhand smoke. Lauren?
Hi.
Hey, you're 32.
Or at the hands of one of these kids of kids.
Yeah, here's the deal. Here's what I hope. I hope one of these screwed-up teenagers with the dad... Here's a scenario I want. Okay.
This is a perfect scenario.
There's a 15-year-old. She gets pregnant. She has a 21-year-old alcoholic, heroin addict, abusive husband. He commits atrocities on their young boy, sexually, verbally, physically, his whole life. The kid grows up to be basically an animal, and the age of 16 goes over to one of these secondhand smoke scientists and just kills him with a blunt object.
Wow.
Yes, that's what I want.
That's deep.
And then you can see what a big tragedy secondhand smoke is, you pussies. Lauren.
Yeah.
What's going on with you?
Well, I've got a problem.
All right.
6 months ago, I got involved with this woman, and we had, she moved away to a different state because she was promoted in her job. And we had committed to ourselves that we would continue the relationship. But I've noticed some indiscrepancies with her. I think she had been cheating on me, and she has...
With a man or woman?
No, woman. She's a lesbian, and so am I.
Mm-hmm. This was when she was out of town?
No, this is when she
left.
This was she was in town. One night I drove by her house and I saw someone else's car in there, and but
was it a step-side pickup truck?
No, it was just.
But it wasn't a Miata.
No.
Lesbian, don't drive Miatas.
No, but I did confront her with it the next day.
Right.
And I basically blew up at her, and she said, well, it wasn't what you thought. And I even rang her doorbell so many times and banged on the door, and she said she didn't hear me.
Oh, sure. Her ears were muffled by a pair of thighs.
Yeah.
Couldn't hear a thing.
But I'm trying to make this as brief as possible. She had said that, just because you've been hurt in the past, which I have been. I have a lot of...
Yeah, but it's because you have that propensity to choose the people that will do this to you, and you've chosen another one here, I suspect.
That is true. Actually, I started dating women because with men, I've been hurt, but I noticed that just because the sex has changed of my own gender, I still get the same abuse of people.
Right. Yeah. Because you were abused by your parents.
My dad, yeah. He, well, I'll get to that in a minute, but...
He did something weird to you?
No, actually, he was emotionally and verbally abusive.
You know, Lauren, I got to say, and I think you're going to like this, I got in a hypothetical conversation with a couple idiots who are standing around my house today working on it, which is, okay, you got a son and a daughter. Would you rather the son go lesbian or the son go gay or the daughter go lesbian? And they both said, daughter go lesbian. And I said, okay. I think I was down with that as a male. Wait, what are you shaking your head for, Joe? You have a son and a daughter. What would you rather? Your son go gay or your daughter go lesbian? Okay,
but the option here is, would I rather have a son that's gay or a daughter that's lesbian? I'd have to say I'd probably rather have...
The lesbian daughter.
No, I wouldn't.
You want the guy?
I would rather have... The gay son. Probably all my friends are going to punch me now.
Picture your son blowing some guy his entire life?
I'm not talking about my son. I'm not picturing, first of all, I'm not picturing my son blowing anybody, because at that point I'm just going to go ahead and let him be himself. Right. Do his thing.
Think of how successful he'll be.
But gay guys are real successful. I mean, no doubt, and they recycle, and they're good people. Don't get me wrong. But I'm saying, I think most guys, if they had the choice, they go with the daughter being lesbian.
That's because they're thinking about two girls having sex. They're not thinking about the kid.
Well, if anything, you're carrying on your name. You don't get to carry on your name.
I think even girls want to see two girls having sex at one point.
All right, but listen, don't screw with my point. You're down with me on this, Joe.
Clearly...
Roach Clip, you know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about.
All right, so I said to the guys, what if you had two daughters and one son? They both go lesbian, or the son goes gay. They still stuck with it.
Two daughters lesbian.
Both daughters go lesbian before the son goes gay. That's what I said. And then I said 3, and then we went and got some more beer, and then I said 4, and they said they went up to 17 lesbian daughters before the son went gay.
They always want the daughter to be.
Well, I know, and one of them just said, "Hey, you don't get your name carried on if your son is gay." I mean, they don't sire.
That's BS.
What do you mean? What do you mean it's BS? They don't sire
that's
a son.
Narcissistic nonsense. Well, all that is anyway. Come on.
All right, you don't. Listen, I'm not so above everything that I'm not in touch with my narcissistic side.
It shows a couple things. One is that there are much lower barriers to women behaving in a same-sex direction than men.
Right.
It shows that men are fearful of homosexuality.
Right.
It shows that men have a weird thing about their daughters, that they don't want any men with them.
Well, that's an interesting point, too.
This shows that men are kind of fearful of female sexualities and would rather keep it contained amongst females.
Whatever it is, these guys were up to 17 women.
Yeah, but that's...
Okay. Well,
let's take a break, and we'll get back to you, Lauren. Okay, Lauren?
All right. Hold on,
we'll
Lauren.
try to do it.
All right.
All right. Marshall. Phunk Junkeez are here. Joe and Roach Clip.
Everybody's mad at me because I picked the gay son.
No, we think it's a courageous yet stupid stand, right, Drew?
Yeah.
No, Drew doesn't know. Drew, you can't lure Drew into these nonsense
He's a doctor.
games. Yeah.
He makes the big bucks.
I get him trying to give him these hypotheticals like, well, would you rather go down on your dad or have sex with your mom? He doesn't.
He stands clear. First of all.
Yeah.
I'm going to stand clear of that question.
This guy is an asshole.
Here's a good hypothetical, though. And Drew, I think I brought this up like 2 years ago, maybe 2.5 years ago, but we haven't talked about it in a long time. But I want you to really just focus on it, which is, now, everybody close your eyes and picture the most disgusting person you work with or go to school with or who's in your neighborhood, just the most disgusting person that's around you. Okay? Maybe it's not physically disgusting, but that helps. Maybe they're just a-holes. Whatever it is. They have to be of the opposite sex, unless you're gay or lesbian. But let's just say, for the sake of argument, everyone's straight, and picture the most disgusting person at your work or wherever it is. Now, here's your choice. You either get A or B. A, you have sex with them one night only. Nobody knows. Not even the person you had sex with. It is somehow magically erased from their memory after you leave the motel.
Men in Black.
Like Men in Black. Oh, my God, Drew, with a current reference, everybody, that actually helped move the show along.
Shocking. I told you,
shocking.
A couple nights of sleep, it's amazing.
What do they call that thing?
Who cares? I'm moving on with my scenario. Here, that's A. B, you don't have sex with them, yet everybody's convinced you did, and there's nothing you can say or do to erase that in anyone else's mind. Meaning, when you show up at work the next day, everyone's shooting you the look, the guys are giving you the razzing, everybody at your workplace or at your school or in your dorm, and no matter how much you tell them or how many Bibles you swear upon, they know it. They know it like it's fact.
All right.
Now, what do you go with? Now, most guys will go with the sex. Screw it, I'll have a beer, I'll get it over with. Women usually say, I don't care what people say, I'm not having sex with the person, although I can grind them down and get them to have sex with them. Because I say, picture yourself walking down the hall of work. Every day you show up at work, and guys' heads and girls' heads are peeking out of their little cubicles, and they're laughing, and the jokes, and the company picnic comes around.
And they're all pointing at her and pointing at you.
I can convince most people to have sex with even the most despicable, disgusting person in their eyes, rather than face ridicule.
That's quite a marked distinction, Adam. I'm proud of you.
But isn't this a good hypothetical?
It's a good hypothetical.
What would you go with, Joe?
What would you go with? You answer first.
I'd go with the sex.
See,
I really would.
I wouldn't go with the sex. Because that's like saying your girlfriend blames you for, cheating on her all the time, so eventually you just say, screw it, I'm just going to cheat on her. It's kind of the same philosophy.
Let's get back to the calls.
Well, all right.
Same philosophy,
Roachcliffe, what do you do?
I go for the sex.
That's right. Hey, man, we should break off and make our own band.
Yeah. I'll manage you guys.
Lauren.
Yes.
All right, so that was 32. So what was your question?
Girlfriend that's cheating on her and lying to her, and she always has abusive relationships. Dad was abusive to her, and she switched to women. This is her, by her own words, because men were so abusive, and she's picked abusive women.
Yeah.
All right, so if you pick this person, chances are they're not great.
Probably, but she has said throughout the relationship, she's had me convinced that, well, I'm not this way, and a few months ago she had it. She screamed at me, saying that, I don't trust her and all this and all that. And finally, I gave myself in as, okay, I trust you, but she travels all the time. And she'll only call, it used to be she called me once a week. Mm-hmm. Then it was once every 2 weeks. I haven't heard from her in about a month now.
Oh, wow.
Well, relationship's over.
Wow.
Well, I called her house tonight. Well, actually, it was last night because it's 2:30 in the morning from where I'm calling.
Right.
And a girl answered.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, okay, well, maybe this girl's house sitting. Because my girlfriend...
she's face-sitting, girl. She ain't house-sitting.
The reason I say that is because she does have somebody watch her house sometimes. But I asked her some questions like, well, who are you? And she told me her name, and she said... She seemed to know too many intimate details of where my girlfriend was.
All right, so this is her new partner.
It's over, Lauren.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's pathetic that she wouldn't call you and help you, and that she would cause you to connect with her in the way you did and then just be done with you. But that fits with the kind of person you've described her to be.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And the thing that kind of really got me, I guess, was a few months ago when she just verbally screamed at me.
Okay. Well...
I mean, the question is, I don't know what to do at this point. I mean...
Get on with your life.
Do I confront her and say, look...
No.
You don't really gain anything from that unless you really need it off your chest that way. But I think all that is a desperate attempt to stay connected with her.
But she has a few of my possessions.
Then write her a letter and ask for them back. And
you can get yourself another pair of panties and an Indigo Girls CD and just move on. Chalk it up to experience.
I mean, so you don't think I'm imagining this?
No.
I mean, no?
She hasn't called you in a month.
That's not a relationship.
No.
Not even an acquaintance.
It doesn't leave much to the imagination when you call and there's somebody else answering the phone.
Right, and she knows as much as she knows about the intimate details of your ex-girlfriend's life.
And we're surmising that she's a cheating, lying coward, and it fits with what you've described her to be so far.
Right. And so what Lauren needs to do, in my humble opinion, and as we know, Drew, what's the lesson we've learned here?
Adam is always right.
That's right. Got him trained like a parrot, this Drew.
I'm too tired to fight against you. So I'm a little bit more rested.
Lauren just needs to back off and evaluate a little bit. Don't jump into something. Don't run from men. Don't be with women just because you hate men.
Yeah.
You know, that's a ridiculous reason to be with a woman.
Yeah.
And just back off, get a little space, work out a few problems, and then get back in a relationship when your compass isn't spinning around.
Read some books. There's a book by a guy named James Masterson called The Search for the Real Self. Check that out.
Oh, really?
You gotta read it, too.
Hey,
I'll have to get it on tape.
Well, as I was telling the boys...
books on tape.
Hey, that's
I
what I'm all
I go to bookstores all the time. I always go to the on-tape section. I look for you.
Yeah, really?
I swear to God, I'm going to get some... if you've listened to stuff I've gotten you so far...
Yeah, I was listening to whatever that one you got me was today in my living room while I was working on something.
Right. I'm going to get you more.
Don't get me the Phantom Tollbooth. That's the only book I've ever read. So if you got me that, it'd be a disaster. I'll have to hear about Milo and his dog Talk all over again. All right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to play something from the Phunk Junkeez. What do you say there, Drew?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And what's this one called, Drew?
Monkey.
No, it's called Funky Funky, you idiot. A little Funky Funky by the Phunk Junkeez. Fear of a Whack Planet's the name of the CD, out last week. Drew?
Yeah.
We're going to take a break? Yeah, Drew decides we're taking a break by whether he has to phone his wife at the hospital or look at some data or something. All right, we'll take a break. We'll be back. Oh, yeah. Loveline. Joe and Rhodes Clip are both here from the Phunk Junkeez, and Drew's here from Pasadena. And Fear of a Whack Planet's the name of the CD. Drew?
Yeah.
All right. Got a call?
Yeah.
Ready to go?
Let's go.
Mariah.
Yeah. Hi.
Hey, you're 15.
Yeah. Okay, I just wanted to say before I ask my question that I love you, Adam and Drew. Drew, you deserve a medal for putting up with Adam, and Adam, you're a genius. I love you guys. You've given so much information and so much help to all the young people out there.
Thanks.
I just wanted to say thanks.
Thank you, Mariah.
Thank you.
Okay. Anyway, my question is, okay, a couple weeks ago, I started hearing voices.
Uh-huh.
And I took a walk at 3 o'clock in the morning for 10 miles, and I don't remember it. I remember walking and stuff, but I don't remember leaving. And so
now, tell me, what were the circumstances where you heard the voices? Were you?
I was in bed, and
So it was sort of a sleep phenomenon. You kind of heard things and responded to them.
I heard things, and I thought I was seeing things, and I got all dressed and went out the window and took a walk for 10 miles.
Did you do any drugs?
No.
Are you on any medication?
Never done drugs. No.
You on any medication?
No, not at all.
Did they do blood work to make sure you don't have a thyroid problem or something?
Yeah, they did.
Blood sugar problem?
They took me to the emergency room. Actually, what happened was Sunday night, I had what the doctor called a transient psychotic episode.
You mean you had another episode?
Yeah, and
What happened then?
I was screaming, looking for people who weren't there, saying I was somebody I wasn't, and then my dad told me that I blacked out, and then came through as myself. But see, I don't remember any of this ever happening.
Do you have any reason to have psychiatric problems? Anything happened to you?
I mean, like what happened to me when I was little?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, my dad was physically and verbally abusive my whole life.
Did they hit you in the head by hitting about the head and face?
Yeah.
Okay, here's...
I was sexually molested when I was 8 by one of my friend's parents.
All right, okay.
Your friend's parents.
Yeah, my friend's dad. I spent the night.
Oh, that's nice.
All right, so there's plenty of...
God knows who else this wolf got his grubby paws on.
Well, his daughter.
Oh, well, yeah, but that's just an appetizer. Imagine all the friends that spent the night.
Hey, you want to stay at my house?
Yeah.
Did you told the doctors about this history?
Yeah.
Did you see a psychiatrist?
Well, no, I didn't tell... I told him about the sexual thing, but I didn't tell him about my dad.
Okay, did you see a psychiatrist?
Yeah, he was a social worker.
No, you need to see a psychiatrist. And here's my concern.
They told me that there was nothing wrong with me and that I didn't.
Right, these are really substantial symptoms. And here's one of the concerns I have. They may all be on a psychiatric basis. Certainly there's enough stimulus there for you to have psychiatric symptoms. But these symptoms have an organic quality to them. You know, here, for instance, you were struck in about the head and neck. You can get small little areas of bruising of the brain that can cause seizures, and these could actually be seizure phenomenon you're having, and that's something that you need to see a neurologist to rule out. You must see a psychiatrist or a physician. Adam, you'd be amazed how frequently that happens.
I played 7 years of Pop Warner football, got my head smashed every which way from Sunday. Look at me.
Not as a very young child.
I started when I was 7.
No, it's a different issue.
You got to start when you're 4?
Yeah. It's a different thing.
I got hit in the head with a T.
All right, but the fact is, you need to see a physician,
think of a sport you could do before
somebody who is a physician, so they can assess the potential medical influences of these.
Mariah, did you get hit in the head hard?
Well, when I was a kid?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he'd like slap me across the face and then like beat my head and stuff.
Oh, okay.
You see?
But the problem is, my parents don't trust psychiatrists or any doctors, so they won't take me.
Listen, it's like criminals don't trust cops.
Yeah.
Of course they don't trust them because they're abusive criminals. Yeah, and if you talk to anybody who's got more than a high school education, they're gonna call the feds out on these people.
But the fact is, these may be seizure phenomenon. Thyroid disease can cause this sort of thing. Diabetes can cause all kinds of organic.
What else is going on? You have a boyfriend?
Yeah. No, we're not sexually active.
Ooh, good.
Yeah.
Why not?
Because we just want to wait until we're older and more responsible and we can handle ourselves.
I give it 3 weeks. Really?
Shut up.
Really?
Really?
Okay. All right. You sound. Listen, for someone. Here's what I'm going to say to you, Mariah. By and large, we talk to people all night long whose environment created a certain kind of person. Once in a while, somebody has a strong enough sort of light in them that they can overcome whatever it is. I mean, there's stories, historically, there's a bunch of stories of folks coming from poverty, coming from, Dad had a third-grade education, and you end up being the dean of some Ivy League school or something like that. And Mariah seems to have a little bit of that.
I agree with you, but my sort of nagging concern is we may be just talking to one of her people.
Oh.
That's very true.
That's interesting. Mariah?
What?
Yeah. What? How many,
I'm sorry.
Do you think you may have more than one personality?
Well, that has been... My dad's sister is schizophrenic, and they told her that she had multiple personality disorder. And so that they were thinking it might be
something that got passed on to you?
Yeah, but...
Well, MPD is different than schizophrenia, but you certainly have a history that sets people up for something that we would call...
Maybe the other Mariah isn't a virgin?
Oh, shut up.
All right, is everyone a virgin?
Yes.
Okay.
Except the one who's sexually abused.
Would that be like... Would symptoms of that be not remembering things and like, okay, because...
Not remembering things.
Certain items of clothing I have, I don't remember buying.
Yeah, that's a classic.
Yeah, I always remember my clothes because I wear the same shirt like 5 days.
Oh, I think we're talking to one of the people.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Yeah. Hey, Drew?
Yeah.
Let's just quit. I think we've done enough. Let's open some kind of sprout farm up in Humboldt. I'm just going to smoke weed and yell at you all day.
We're coming. Don't leave us here.
You guys come with us. You like
the sharecroppers.
You like sample something for us, but it's got to be like some Doobie Brothers or something.
Yeah.
I can't have something too techno when I'm smoking weed.
No, it's all good. Yeah, it's all about the groove. It's not about heavy stuff.
All right. We got to get out of this, Drew. All right, Mariah, take care of all yourselves, please, sweetie. Patrick is 17. He's been on hold for 125 minutes. And how long have we been on the air tonight? 110 minutes?
No, not even that, I don't think.
Well, look at the clock.
110. 119.
All right, you jackass. Patrick?
Yeah.
109, that is. Yeah. Patrick, what's up?
Yeah. I think I've fallen in love with this girl. And, we dated 4 times. And one time was like 6 months. And one time was like 7 months, and then one was 1 month.
How old were you when this all started?
It was like my freshman year, so I'd have been like 15.
How old was she?
She's 15 too.
Okay.
And I mean, I can't stop thinking about her. She's all I ever think about. I mean, she has a best friend. Her best friend like lives a street over from me, and like every time I come home from anywhere, I drive by to see if she's there. You know, I like to know where she is at all times, and you know, she broke my heart, and I mean, I guess my question to you is, I mean, what do you think I should do? Should I try to get her back, or?
No. We say no on that.
I'd say yeah if it worked. I've never really known that to work. God,
it's a tough thing.
I've tried.
It's a tough thing. When you go out with, especially when you're like 15 or 16, and it's the first time you've ever experienced girls like that. I mean, I can remember sitting up till 3, 4 in the morning going, oh, man, what am I going to do? This girl doesn't like me. But realistically, I mean, it's been like 10 years since I went through those kind of feelings. But as you get older, those kind of things just kind of...
Oh, isn't it nice?
They just kind of mill over, and I know it sounds kind of stupid for somebody to sit there and go, oh, well, believe me, it's just, you know, it's the first time you get over it, but eventually you kind of do.
Well, you know, it's one of these things where it sounds so trite. You just say the same thing over and over again. Time will heal all wounds. You'll get over it, blah, blah, blah. But that's all you can say. I mean, that's it. The whole thing is I always just tell people, don't do anything stupid in the interim when you're getting over it.
Yeah. Nah, don't worry about her.
Don't worry about her.
Nah.
Yeah.
The less you focus on her, the better.
Yeah.
Hey, Patrick.
Yeah.
Can you stalk someone else?
I mean, there's been other girls, but I mean, they just don't work. I mean, it all goes back to her, and
I know, but it's not. It has less to do with her and more to do with you. You understand?
And what she.
Patrick, you're not going to do anything stupid, are you?
No.
All right. So don't hurt yourself. Don't hurt her, and get over it. And really, the best revenge is to excel in life. If someone dumps you,
be happy.
Oh, you know, I'm going to go see. I just talked to an old girlfriend of mine today. She's coming over in a couple days just to pay me a visit.
This isn't the one.
Which one?
The one.
That one?
Yeah.
Stephanie?
Yeah.
No. There's another one.
She's rotting in hell somewhere.
Yeah, if you call Hermosa Beach hell, yeah. I kind of like it there, though. But the point is I'm going to get some good revenge in, you know. I got a house, you know. I'm going to hire a bunch of day laborers to come over and
dump you?
Polish my, give me a pedicure and stuff.
You're a big movie
bathrobe.
You're a big TV star now, so you can really work the
Did she dump you?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Driving a beat-up car, living with a bunch of guys in La Crescenta.
Why is she coming back?
Well, you know, I'm big time now.
You've always been friends with her, though, right?
Minorly kept in touch.
You see, that's all I was saying to the kid.
What does Lynette say about this?
She's coming over to the compound now, huh?
What's Lynette say about this?
Oh, my current girlfriend?
Should know that.
Ouch, you forgot about that, didn't you?
Yeah, she should be sleeping. Hey, and listen, all you jackasses who tell my girlfriend crap I said about her the next day at work, I put a curse on you.
He's gonna kick your ass.
You should grow like an onion in the ground, you bastards. Oh, that's all I get, and I get the phone call next day. And believe me, secondhand is always worse.
Yeah.
Always worse.
Sharon from accounting came up to me and said that you were talking about her. And they always embellish a little.
It's out of context always, too.
Some sort of sexual rendezvous with your ex-girl? And no, she's coming over so I can rub my newfound fame in her face. That's all.
Why is she coming over, Adam?
Let's go.
No, I got to straighten this out because one of these goofball yentas my girlfriend works with is going to rat me out, and I'm telling you, it's just an old girlfriend of mine. It's 3 years ago. I've seen her a couple of times in 3 years.
That one.
Yeah, Cynthia. Oof. Oh, settle down. Oh, you don't even know her, Drew. Shut up.
That's a long one, though.
Drew comes in with his woof.
Yeah,
I know Cynthia.
Madeline does it too,
I
right?
know Cynthia.
All right.
Isn't that's a little bit, that's freaking you out feeling that, wouldn't it?
Now I'm starting to sweat. Look at this. Oh, for Christ's sake. Look, I haven't seen her in, 2 or 3 years, She called me out of the blue, wanted to know what was going on. I'm up. She's getting married. She's engaged. She is getting married.
She wants the last fling before she goes.
Yeah, salt you up before she goes down.
That was a nice girl.
Yeah. A little nutty, but nice.
She's going to throw a little salt on it.
All right. Okay.
And now everybody's pissed at you.
Okay, that's great. We'll go to break. That's it. Mercifully. Another...